Hey guys, welcome back to the Circleville 2 YouTube channel. For this video, we're going to talk about selling 3D printed designs, 3D printed items, and whether, it's worth your time and energy to do so, if you can actually make some money doing that. And this all comes about because I was given a 3D printer by Banggood, and I've been doing the 3D prints and making videos on it. And, obviously, not everyone has their own 3D printer, but yet they like the stuff or they want it, and they're willing to pay for it, but it's just, they ask, and I really have no interest in selling them. I would much prefer if everyone just owned a 3D printer and you print it yourself and I don't have to deal with it. But that's going to be something that comes up continuously as I make these videos, and I don't have an answer to that because I'm not incredibly interested in it. But I thought we could do a breakdown, and some of it will be specific to me, and other portions will be much more generalized, and I think something that could be useful for other people down the road. And by the way, if you have kids or anything, having a 3D printer it would be a really amazing educational tool for them, because it teaches you all this design stuff, the different shapes and math, and getting these pieces to fit together. But you could also turn it into like a business lesson, as we're going to kind of break it down here. I don't ever plan on having kids, but if I did, I would definitely be interested in them learning about this, because, keep your mind sharp. Problem solving. That's really what it's all about. All the crap you learn in school, they need to teach people problem solving. Learn how to figure things out on your own. Okay, so that's sidetrack. I'm going to try not to do that anymore. So you're looking at a very simple square that I printed. It's a base for an LED work light. So if we look at the actual pictures of it, there it is on the item. It's a magnet that goes through the bottom. Okay, so that is what we would print. It's simple, but it's specific to a physical object that's already produced in the world. So it could be sellable because it solves a problem. It is not otherwise produced. So if someone wanted it, they'd have to come up with their own solution, or they could get this, right? So if we look at this breakdown here, I'm going to purposely kind of scroll through and make you wait so we can follow along here. We have the Braun, that's the light, base print. Okay, it takes 5 hours and 35 minutes to print that design, and it uses 45 grams of filament. Now, 1 kilogram of filament is $20 on average. All right, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, but that's what we could expect to get it for. At 2 cents per gram, which is what that breakdown is, we have a 90-cent material cost to print one of these. And I'm rounding it up to $1 because you're not going to use 100% of your filament. It's just like if you cut a circle out of a piece of notebook paper, you used that entire notebook paper. You wasted the rest of it because you cut the circle out of the middle of it. You didn't use 100% of your paper, but 100% of it is wasted. So you're going to have some waste. You're going to have some prints that fail, that don't work out right. So rudimentary, we're going to round it up to $1 cost in materials. Now the weight in a padded envelope is 3 ounces. First class mail through the post office matters how far you're shipping it. So I live in Illinois. If I was to ship this to Iowa, it would be cheaper than shipping it to Hawaii. But we don't want to ever be in a situation where we can take a loss. So $3.35 is the most it could cost me. So that's the worst case scenario. Things could get a little bit better from there, but it's not a huge difference. So with an envelope and a label, always when I'm doing my breakdowns for eBay, I consider the label cost me 10 cents and the padded envelope also cost me 10 cents. So a major cost in selling this thing is just the shipping to get it to somebody is going to cost us $3.55. Now looking at the electricity, on average this printer uses 0.12 kilowatts, and for 5.5 hours that's 0.66 per print. I looked up my energy, 880 watt hours last month, and it cost $108.85. So it'll cost about 8 cents per print. So pretty negligible as far as the energy costs. So if we have $1 in materials, $3.55 for shipping, and we have 8 cents in electricity, that's going to cost me $4.63 every time I print one of these. Now, our other variable that I really can't determine because, okay, the printer right now, well, with my promo code it's $239, but it's normally $285, so you should probably go with the $285 number. But what's the lifespan of the printer? If we were printing the same thing over and over again, how many times could we print that in the life of the printer? It's almost impossible to determine. And you also have, belts. Belts are eventually going to go bad. The extruder nozzle is eventually going to go bad. The tube that brings the filament from the motor to the nozzle, it's going to go bad. So you're going to need extra parts and pieces. What does that cost? How long do they last? Because I've only had this thing for 2 weeks, I have no idea how to even calculate that. It is probably negligible, but it is something to consider. Things break. Not only do you have to pay for the replacement, but then you have downtime on the machine where you're not making money because the machine's not working. Unless you have multiple machines, then your production is diminished but not brought to zero. I mean, there's tons of variables. You could really get into the weeds on this thing, but let's try not to. So at a $10 sale price, the PayPal fees would be 55 cents or 60 cents. And why that is somewhat confusing is, generally speaking, you could have one of two types of PayPal accounts. 99.9% of you have just the regular PayPal account, which charges 30 cents and 2.9%, which I just round up to 3 because it's easier, 3%. A fee on the total payment. That's the price of the item and the shipping, the whole payment. That is what you get charged. Now, I have two PayPal accounts. One is that normal account, and one is what they call a micro payments account. It was specifically designed for accepting small payments. So that account charges 5 cents per transaction and 5%. So you can see how it works on small transactions. The regular one charges you 30 cents per transaction. The micro is 5 cents. So your break-even point fees-wise at PayPal is $12. So when I was setting up my eBay listings, eBay doesn't even use PayPal really anymore, but when I was setting up my eBay listings, if an item sold for $12, I listed the micropayments account. If it was over $12, I would list the regular account, and that mostly came into play when I was selling Harbor Freight coupons, because I'd sell them for $1.25 or $1.49 a piece, and 30 cents to 5 cents when it's a high volume, low price item, adds up quite a bit. But anyways, 60 cents is probably more common. So our production and delivery cost is that $4.63. So at $10 selling this item, and could you get $10 for it? That's a different question. You would make $4.82. And remember, it takes 5.5 hours of printing to make $4.82. So at the max, not even really realistic, you can make 4 a day, and you would make $19.28 per day, or $7,037 per year. And of course, that's assuming the printer never turns off. You're always available to keep it going. Again, unrealistic, but the absolute max. And again, we're also only assuming one printer. Like if you had a fleet of like 20 printers, you'd have to have the sales to keep up with that, but it gets into a little bit different realm. Now, some people will take this in a bad light, and other people I think will understand. If you gave me the option of spending the amount of time it would take to do this, and I would get an extra $7,000 a year in my pocket, or I could give up that $7,000 and have that additional free time to do whatever I want, I would value my free time more than that $7,000. It's not valuable to me, I guess. I'd rather have the time to do whatever I want and not be tethered to this line of production. So if we go into it a little farther here, let's say I charged $15 per stand. Now keep in mind, the light I think normally sells for $35. It used to be $29 or $30. And then we used to be able to get coupons all the way down to $20, which is the lowest it ever gets to. But not too much anymore. They don't even do coupons really anymore. They're just doing their instant savings. Anyway, $15 sale price would be a $9.38 profit. So that would be a max of $37 a day and $13,694 per year. And this is going to sound worse, but I wouldn't want to do it for $13,000 either. Now, what if we went for $20 per item? That is a profit of $14.32 for each print. That is $57.28 a day, or $20,907 per year. And, well, that would catch my attention. That would be worth it. So, the thought about the pricing is, I read a book a long time ago, and my numbers are going to be slightly off because it was a while ago, but the principle holds true. This company was selling a subscription service for $9.99 a month. And they had many thousands of customers, but all of those customers turned into a problem because they had to have all of this infrastructure to support that base of customers and to provide customer service, and it was very expensive. So they took the exact same product and changed the price from $9.99 a month to $99.99 a month. A huge, monumental increase. At the end of the day, their profit actually went up because they were able to cut a ton of expenses because they didn't have as many customers. Each individual customer was more valuable to them. But they didn't have the very cheap plan that caused all these other problems. So in a way, that would be my theory here. If someone really wants this thing and is really willing to pay up for it, then fine. I will print the thing and I will do the whole shebang for it. But, selling it for $10, making a $4 profit, I'm not interested. And there's already been, I've had a couple where, look, I've talked to the person before. They've been around for a while. I'll send people some stuff for free, but you can't do that for everybody. And I don't mind doing it because I appreciate the people who have been around a while and who interact and who help out. So it doesn't bother me, not the slightest bit. I'm happy that I can give them something that they will enjoy and to show my appreciation for them being around. But you just can't do it for everybody. If 1,000 people ask for this thing and it cost, what was the production, $4 each to ship and to make it, 1,000 people ask, you're just out $4,000, So you can't. You just can't. Now, the other thing to this, the additional possible cost would be if you were selling this on eBay, you're going to add about 10%. They're doing their own managed payments thing. So you would either add 10% for the eBay fee or subtract what you took out for PayPal and do 15% on eBay, without the PayPal fee included. And that's an option. It definitely gets more eyes on things, and it gets it out there in front of people. You're going to have more competition, especially like my DeWalt tool holder. There's probably 100 people selling DeWalt tool holders on eBay. So a lot of competition. Prices would be driven down. You definitely wouldn't be able to get a premium price unless you had a very specific application, a specific product. And of course, the more specific a product it is, no matter the price, you're going to get less volume of sales because there's less people out there who need it. In my specific case, I would set up a store on my website. I used to years ago have a store on my website. There's a free plugin that has additional upgrades that you can purchase, but the base is free. It's called Woocommerce. You install it on your website. You can add products, and it processes through PayPal. It can do probably other ways too, but when I did it, I processed through PayPal. And it was free outside of your time and labor of setting it up, as long as you didn't need any of the premium services, which it was so long ago I don't even remember. But the basics of selling were free through that program. And the other thing is, if you charge $20 a piece, some people are just going to think you're an asshole. And, you know, in a lot of ways, in my case, that is true. But that is not the intention of selling it for $20 a piece. It would be... It's almost intentionally trying to discourage the sale of the item. Like, it sounds so awful, but I need an answer for people who want things. And I don't know what that is, actually. A kind of interesting offshoot of this is if you designed the items yourself, even if you collected the payments from the sales yourself and then had somebody else printing and shipping the items for you, and you came up with a revenue split in some way where that person got such percentage and you got such percentage. Now the problem there is you're diluting the profit. It's getting split in half, so nobody's making as much money. You would probably have to charge the higher price just to make it worth anybody's time. But also you'd have to have a high level of trust in the integrity and the work ethic of the person you are working with, that they are actually diligent about it and, you know, do good work, they actually get it shipped out, and that whole thing. And then you also have the problem of, what if you got too many sales? If I can only print 4 a day, again, we're only assuming this one product, when in all actuality you would probably have 20, 40, 100, who knows how many different items that could be printed. What would you do if someone wanted 20 of them? You can only print 4 a day. Someone wants 20, and then you get all these other sales coming in. Now, in a way, it's a good problem to have, but it's still a problem. At what point do you reinvest more? You pay for the extra machine, or it just gets complicated and sticky. One last thought I do have about the potential of selling the 3D prints. Since I am uploading them to Thingiverse, now when you upload to Thingiverse, it asks you what type of license to apply to this item. You know, whether you give permission to people to recreate or to sell, to profit from your item. And how many people actually follow that, I have no idea. But the more you do, it is inevitable that some ass bag will try and make money off of your design. And that would make me mad. I'm not really sure what your recourse would be, if it would be worth doing anything about it. You probably, in all likelihood, not even know about it. But just the thought of me putting a lot of time and effort into something and then somebody else putting very little effort and them making money on it while I do not make money on it kind of pisses me off and makes me think I should sell it, just so if people are going to be making money on it, can I at least please be one of them? Oh, this is such a difficult decision for me. Because I don't know. You know, I am very used to selling. I have been selling on eBay since I was like 16. You weren't even supposed to have an account then. I remember getting the money orders and going to the gas station to either buy a money order or to cash a money order. It was before PayPal even existed. So I've been doing this and selling and shipping forever. I have very little experience with creating my own product, but I get this process. I know how to implement it. I don't know how successful it would be. It would be some level of success. Like, some people are going to see the videos or whatever, see it somewhere else, and they're going to want it. And hey, does that mean I sell one a week or one a month? I don't know, but something would sell. I don't have an answer for what to do about this. Maybe I do it and I end up really liking it, you know? No matter what, I want to put them on for free on Thingiverse because that's the entire intention anyway. And I feel like it is a bit of advertising for my website. And, you know, if it's going to be out there in the universe, if I'm going to take the time to create the damn thing, why would I just, you know, do it for myself and nobody else? That just sounds stupid. So, yeah, I think we've lost any additional value this video could provide. I gotta decide what I'm going to do. So, thanks for watching. Give the video a like. Subscribe for a subscriber. I'll see you guys next time.